we want to do some reblocks here, some change ups. You know, we're going to be drawing a few cards is the thing, right? They've got discards to do, but they're not drawing. It's the menace that we wanted. They just take it. And they want more attacks is the thing. Wow. We have so many -1s to put out. I don't think they thought of this. It goes to the left. Yep. Woof. We draw 1,000 cards. We get 1,000 +1/+1s, and even get to do a little bit of minus action. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. Today we're playing Historic Golgari Death Touch Insects. Now this is an original deck inspired by Weevil from Yu-Gi-Oh! I know. However, it slaps. This is pretty cool, and you know, I don't think anyone's done any insect tribal yet, so I'm really happy to bring this deck towards your guys' attention. It revolves around the Hornet Queen. Now this is one of the more expensive drops from Amonkhet Remastered, and I wasn't around for the original Amonkhet set, so this is a banger for me. Flying Death Touch 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch. That's crazy. So this is where we got both the insect archetype and the death touch archetype from. We have incorporated some snakes in along with our insects just to kind of get that grungy vibe going, right? So, you know, this comes through with Vizier of the Poisons. We'll be making 1/1 snakes with death touch, which is really cool here. And we have the Hooded Blightfang, also a snake that whenever a death touch attacks, we're gonna gain 1 life and deal 1 chip damage there, which is really cool. We've got a lot of other synergies within the deck, but we're gonna get to that in a little bit. Before we do, if you find any value within this video, I really encourage you to give it a thumbs up and share it out to your friends. We just finished the Zendikar Rising press release event, and I was able to snag a screenshot of this for everybody. We have our 2021 year mapped out for us, right? So, you know, we've seen rotation hitting. You know, Zendikar is that last one we get, and then it's code names from there. But today, or maybe yesterday for you guys if you're watching this when it comes out, we got a sneak peek at the next year of Magic, which is really, really cool. Kaldheim, you know, this is a Viking-based theme, which is really, really cool. Looking forward to that. Strixhaven, School of Mages. You know, probably some wizards, I'm thinking here. A lot of instances of sorceries, some spellcasters. Where's Teferi at, right? He should be the teacher within Strixhaven, right? You know, we're headed to Hogwarts. And then, you know, we have something very, very special. A first ever collaboration between Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering. Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Oh my lord. You know, we're going to be getting some dragons, that's for sure. And hopefully, you know, some cool members to our party, which I'm going to touch on in a second. And then next up, something that's crazy. They're releasing Innistrad Werewolves and Innistrad Vampires separately. The werewolves will come out first, followed by the vampires, both in Q4, it appears, which is neat. So we're going to be getting 2 sets that are completely full by themselves, both in 1 quarter. So get ready to spend some gems, boys. And now this is really cool. Woof, woof, right? For everybody who knows my channel, I'm big into the woofers and the werewolves. So that's nice. And then on the downside from that, we have Time Spiral Remastered. This could be something, in my opinion. Now, we don't have any confirmation on this, whether it will be coming into Arena or not. But, you know, it could be something like Amonkhet Remastered, where it comes in with the draft format. You know, we get to play limited, sealed, etc., right? So that could be really cool. Again, new cards I've never seen. I have not played with Amonkhet. Not played with Time Spiral. Really looking forward to it. Here's my credit card. And then we have Modern Horizons 2. And now, as far as I'm concerned, this is just paper magic for the ballers out there. And this isn't typically something that I dip my toes into yet. So at least we won't have to partake in that. But as far as these 4 new sets, it's not even 4 new sets. It's 5 sets because the Vampire and Werewolves are split up. And then we're going to be getting Time Spiral as well. So, you know, there's 6 sets here to be collecting next year, and that's without any of the unreleased events. Like, you know, obviously they didn't say, hey, we're going to put out Jumpstart and Amonkhet last year when they released us this time frame. So it's pretty cool to know that they've already got so much planned and that we're going to be getting potentially some more as well. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but Day 9 was playing MTG Arena on his phone. What? So the fact that that's running literally on the device right now, you know it's going to be hitting before Christmas. I was worried with COVID-19. I was like, oh my Lord, we're not going to get Arena Mobile until like 2021. This is horrible. But they're still hitting it. You know, engineers and game designers, whatever, can all work from home, which is deadly, and they've got the game up and running. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it, you know, sooner than Christmas. And I don't know, I have no idea. That's just, it's coming soon. With all that shenanigans out of the way, we're back playing Golgari Insects. Let's take a look at the deck list. Then we're going to break down the deck strategies and synergies. How do all of those cards come together? Then we're going to watch some gameplay footage, you know, learn how this deck operates with the rest of the Amonkhet meta. And then we have our closing thoughts, which is much like what we just did, but we're going to talk about our personal life and a lot of stuff that you probably don't care about. So let's get into it. Golgari Insects starts out with 3 copies of Thoughtseize. This is a sorcery spell. Target player reveals their hand. Choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. You lose 2 life. So typically, this is very, very good. It can be bad against a mono red deck. It's got lots of burn in hand, and then, you know, you just take 1 burn and they still smash you. So if you, yeah, it's not good against mono red, potentially. Unless you are pulling something that guarantees doing 2+ damage to you. So if you can pay 2 damage to take out, say, a Torbrand or an Embercleave that you know is going to deal more than 2 damage to you when it hits the field, you know, that's where Thoughtseize is getting that positive value against mono red. And typically against any other deck, it's always positive value. You just get to take their best hand. You get to take the reason they kept their draw hand, right? Let's put it that way. So Thoughtseize is amazing. That's our 1-drop of the deck. We've got 2 copies of Hapatra, Vizier of Poisons. This is a 2/2, and whenever Hapatra, Vizier of Poisons deals combat damage to a player, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Whenever you put a -1/-1 counter on target creature, create a 1/1 green snake creature token with Death Touch. So that's quite nice that we're able to deal damage, put -1s on something, and then whenever we do put the -1 on something, whether it's from the Vizier of Poisons or another source, we get to create that 1/1 snake with Death Touch. 2 copies of Chevill, Bane of Monsters. This is a 1/3 with Death Touch, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponent controlled no permanents with bounty counters on them, put a bounty counter on creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Whenever a permanent an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it dies, you gain 3 life and draw a card. So that's pretty nice value exchange. 4 copies of Ram through instant speed. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Into our 3-drops, 4 copies of Hooded Blightfang. This is a 1/4 with Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. Woof, right? 3 copies of Nest of Scarabs, an enchantment. Whenever you put 1 or more -1/-1 counters on target creature, create that many 1/1 black insect creature tokens. 2 copies of Leyline Prowler. 2 copies of Leyline Prowler. This is a 2/3 with Death Touch and Lifelink. We can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. 4 copies of Maelstrom Pulse. Sorcery speed, destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent, both on your board state and your opponent's board state. That's a lesson that we learned the hard way today. 4 copies of Obelisk Spider. This is a 1/4 with Reach. Whenever Obelisk Spider deals damage to a creature, put a -1/-1 counter on that creature. Whenever you put 1 or more -1/-1 counters on target creature, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So nice little bit of chip damage there for us as well. 2 copies of Vraska's Swarm's Eminence. This is a 5 loyalty planeswalker that comes in with a static ability of whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a player or planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. -2, create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. So the tokens have a similar effect as the Blightfang, and typically with the Death Touch they would have them organically. Anywho, 2 copies of Questing Beast, Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste, 4/4, cannot be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control cannot be prevented. Whenever Questing Beast deals damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. 2 copies of Driven for 2. This also has Despair on the back end for 2. Sorcery speed for both. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Despair Aftermath. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain menace, which is the key part here. Whenever a creature you control deals damage to a player, that player discards a card. So that's also really nice too. But typically they won't be discarding cards unless it's in a weird control matchup. But the menace is always going to be helpful if there's blockers. Finally, we've got 2 copies of the Hornet Queen. This is a 2/2 with flying and death touch. When it enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch, which is absolutely amazing. So these spells are obviously accompanied by some land. We have 8 swamps, 8 forests, 4 overgrown tombs, and 4 woodland cemeteries. Very basic deck, very nice land, very consistent, sitting at 24 lands, right? 18 creatures, not so bad, and a little bit of back end with some removal through ram through, disruption through Thoughtseize, a little bit of added card draw and evasion through Driven and Despair, and also some removal through our Pulse, which is pretty cool. So it's very well balanced. The synergies within this deck are very high. It's just going to be a matter of surviving because of the slower ramp or the slower curve here. We don't have almost any 1-drops. There are very few 2-drops. The Chevill and the Vizier of Poisons is really all that we're looking for. Ramp through is a 2-drop, but we're not casting that until, at least turn 3 when Chevill is on the field. Probably not until turn 4 when we have the Blightfang or the Prowler on the field, right? So the 1-drops and the 2-drops are very light. The deck doesn't really start until the 3-drops, in which case, we're always going to have a Fang, a Prowler, a Spider, pretty consistently. And at that point, we can start going in. There's the removal, here's some bigger creatures with Death Touch, and Questing Beast has Vigilance, which really throws the momentum of a lot of games, because typically Death Touch creatures, yes, they attack for a very small amount, but now they can't defend, and now the opponent can smash you for a greater number than you just did, because Death Touch creatures usually have like the 1 strength, right? 1 or 2. And then, we're breaking Vraska's Swarm Eminence. Because of all the creatures have Death Touch, they'll attack, they'll get +1/+1 counters, and it will be a cascading downfall for our opponent. That's, the general idea of the deck. There's some really cool synergies we have through the Vizier of Poisons and Obelisk Spider, primarily. Even the Nest of Scarabs is really good in with that. Smaller synergy within the deck, I would call it the insect synergy. Whenever you put 1 or more -1/-1 counters on a creature, create that many 1/1 black insect creature tokens, right? That's amazing. When it deals combat damage to a creature, put a -1/-1 counter on that creature. So, it's dealing 1 damage and then it puts a -1/-1 on it. So it's taking out something with 2 defense. And, whenever you do put those -1/-1s, you're going to gain 1 life and they're going to lose 1 life, which is great. And then, of course, the Vizier, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Whenever you put 1 or more -1/-1s on a creature, create the green snake with Death Touch, which is pretty cool. So it's not like a huge synergy and the whole deck doesn't revolve around it, but it is something that can, really help us get going, right? Creating those additional creatures with Death Touch, the snakes, is really good. The additional chip damage is very, very good as well, both to our opponent, and then the minuses on our opponent's creatures is a great way to just take out his weaker creatures, or their weaker creatures. It could be a girl, I suppose. And then, the Nest of Scarabs really helps us go wide to create multiple insects at a time. And then on top of that, a lot of the insects have Death Touch, and the snakes, these snakes will have Death Touch. These insect flyers will have Death Touch, and then they get stronger through Vraska, which we kind of talked about a little bit. Again, also all of the Death Touch equals instant speed removal through ram through, because the Death Touch will just kill anything. So that's quite nice. Chevill puts the counters on stuff, so try to remove what Chevill has put counters on, and then you're going to be gaining life, drawing a card, which is nice because hopefully your draw replaces the removal that you used, etc., etc., etc. Once you build your field state up, throw on Driven and Despair, so your opponent can't really block you, and you're going to gain a bunch of cards from the occasion, and you're going to buff up, and you're going to deal a whole bunch of chip damage to your opponent. So it seems like an unconventional deck, but while we're waiting for Zendikar, you know, that's the road I'm taking. I'm going to play some unconventional decks. I'm opening up my deck builder. I'm picking a card I like, and I'm building theme decks around them. Just having some fun, right? And, you know, we're playing ranked today. We're still getting wins. We're down in Platinum, admittedly. Maybe the competition's not so stiff. Not quite like Mythic, but, you know, nonetheless, it's nice to take a break from the aggressive meta sometimes. And that is why I love Historic so much, is because I can make this weird jank deck. No one's seen it before. They don't know how to interact with it, and that's where I get my advantages from, is the fact that they don't know what's coming next, right? So I hope you guys enjoy today's gameplay footage. You know, I definitely had some of the most fun with this deck that I've had in a while, as far as just original deck building goes. So I really appreciate your time and attention. Don't forget to watch to the end so you don't miss out on our closing thoughts, my vlog, all that jazz, right? So thank you. Enjoy today's gameplay footage. I'm live on YouTube every morning, 6 a.m. At 7, we switch to Twitch, and then we're back on YouTube at 6 p.m. all times Mountain Standard. If you don't want to do time conversions, there is a Linktree link that will go everywhere, right? Just go find me, follow, and then you don't have to do any of that. You'll just get notifications. And then we also are playing using MTGA Assistant today, which you can find the link down below as well. That's the Overwolf one. You get metagame analysis, deck write-ups, deck videos, you know, even event metagame. So all the information you could possibly want within one place, easily accessible in the game via the link in the description below. All right, enjoy today's gameplay, and we'll see you in a few minutes. This is a really nice hand. Now, whether or not we can make it work is going to be something else. And the Vraska Swarm Eminence, it could go. I'm trying to work on my pronunciation, so if you hear me doing cards multiple times, I'm just practicing. Hapatra, Vizier of Poisons. Okay, we do have a target to put a... Oh, wow. Nice. That is straight up flexing. That 0-3 Arboreal Grazer hit. Woof. Interesting. Cycling non-combat damage. Or, sorry, cycling combat damage away. Simulacron helps ramp. Should I be worried here? I don't want to let them draw. We'll take our draw instead, right? A little friendlier. No attacks, we'll play defensive. Questing Beast is ready to go. Ooh! Whoa! Whoa. I guess we'll give him the draw here. Our Death Touch stops that Gargaroth, which is just like amazing. Well, this is weird. I say we go into their hand with our Thoughtseize. We have plenty of life. Let's see what's going on in there. It's my favorite card to take. They're sitting on 6 only, though, is the thing. Gargaroth has a counter on it. They're taking the draw. We are taking the trade. We get to draw. We gain 3 life. So it's like we took no damage. We've got our Insect Queen. Nice, you turkey dog. Explorer's fine. A little late, and then just pull the land. Questing Beast in play! I imagine it will block, and then it's just a trade. They get to replace itself with a draw. The 3-3, no draw on empty hand. What? Alright. Our opponent loves the top deck, and do they ever get rewarded? That's the faith they have. No blocks. This is our 6th land. Spider's an amazing blocker here. The ooze could kill us. So no attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We dropped a land for 7, if not our Eminence. The ooze can smash us in the mouth, though. That's not really a good thing for me. No blocks. They could power up even more by taking their own graveyard, right? 2 Gargaros, like there's lots of creatures in there. We just need some form of removal. The Death Touch does it, right? There's no trample on the ooze, so like we just play our Swarm's Eminence and use the minus for the Death Touch creature. And that should save us, and you know, hopefully this is a dead card in hand for them. We do get hit quite hard here, is the thing. It's okay though, it's okay. Insect Queen's got nice chump blockers. We'd have to pay for it. Oh no, we don't. Alright, this is what it's all about. This is Golgari insects. They all have Death Touch as well, which, you know, that's really going to help with the Swarm's Eminence when it hits the field, right? That's what it's all about. We've got the chump blocks with Death Touch here. They're not doing anything. That's awesome. Here comes Vraska.
Only a fool stands in my way. If you need my services, it may cost you more than just money.
We'll keep one back. Hitting for 5, and they all get +1/+1 counters on them. It's normally here we do our evil laugh like that, and then our opponent totally wipes us. Right? Land. Oh, snap! Hornet Queen on Hornet Queen action. That's crazy.
If you see an assassin coming for you, that's a bad assassin.
The Death Touch, though, right? The Death Touch, though. This just got weird, right? This is so weird. I don't even know. Maybe we should have attacked with everybody. Oh! I think we do. Everybody gets trample. Plus we have Death Touch, so that's like the grand finale, right? And then we'll do Despair as well. Even though they've got nothing to discard. Why not? That's what it's all about. The Menace is the key component of the Despair there, right? So now these Death Touch defenders have to double block if they want. Golgari insects may or may not be inspired by a little Weevil action. Let's tap our mana, I guess. I don't know. All of these Death Touch menaces will increase in strength again because Vraska. So it's pretty cool combination with you know, the Obelisk Spider, Vizier of Poisons, Hornet Queen. We had Nest of Scarabs in there, worked really well. And then, of course, Chevill. Just a little bit of death touch, a lot of insects, bring it all together. Big woofs. Our opponent has 21 life is the thing. And we just attacked with everybody for some reason. So we need to draw a creature card or two to block the Scavenging Ooze. This is something I did not even realize. I just got so excited there for a moment. I do that a lot. I want to do some re-blocks here, some change-ups. You know, we're going to be drawing a few cards is the thing, right? They've got discards to do, but they're not drawing. It's the menace that we wanted. They just take it. And they want more attacks is the thing. Wow. We have so many -1s to put out. I don't think they thought of this. It goes to the left. Yep. Woof. We draw 1,000 cards. We get 1,000 +1/+1s, and even get to do a little bit of minus action. So we should probably just kill that, even though we have the death touch. Right, ram through for 2 will work quite nicely, and that leaves us 2, and we've not played a land. Let's kill that ooze. Play the forest, and we nuke all of the insect tokens. Oh, that nukes ours as well. Big oops right there. I didn't even realize that it would destroy the same permanents that were on our board state. Oh my lord, cry. You know, our board state is in such a place that we don't need to worry about it, thankfully. We have Questy Beast in hand that'll win us the game. We just nuked 4 of our flyers that were buffed up, right? Let's play the Fang. Gains us a bunch of life with the Death Touch on field. And let's play Questing Beast for the game-winning blow. We could even play to 3, which I don't think much matters. Why not? Get the Scorpion in play. Or the Spider. Looks like it could be a Scorpion. And again, we're all in. Gaining a healthy 4 life here, 4 chip damage. Again, getting all those +1/+1s on the Death Touch creatures. Being able to while out on our opponent here, I really appreciate it. And that is the power of Golgari Death Touch insects. Our opponent goes first. Hand looks pretty underwhelming. We're gonna mulligan this. At least find the correct land, right? Keeping 6, tossing one of our queens. This is just meant to be a fun deck, not overly competitive or anything. Just general Death Touch insect theme. Sometimes I just play to have fun, believe it or not, right? Probably Bane, right? Cycling. Death Touch and Ram Through is a nice option for us.
Those who cannot proceed put thoughtfulness before action.
So we can get it on the Planeswalker. This will help us kill Narset. The Death Touch effect affects Planeswalkers. We also gain 1 life, and we'll do 1 chip damage as well. The counter from Chevill went on, so we also gained 3 life, and we drew a card. Pretty good value against turn 3 Narset. Turn 4 Uro. We're at 3, we're playing it to 4. We want to ramp into our queen. Probably. Two chip damage, 2 life gain, plus an additional 2 combat damage. Not so shabby. Here's a second Earl. 3 life. Plus a land. This is where it gets weird. Right? Do we play in, or do we start going with maybe some non-creature base enchantments? Taking the chip damage here from Leyline Prowler. That's 3 additional damage that turn. And here's the wipe, so it's a good thing we took it. We lose a lot of our ramp, but I think we're still okay. So originally we utilized our Death Touch, and now we're going to try to utilize these 1/1 counters. But I'm pretty certain that there's not many creatures other than Uro in the deck, so the minus counters might not be so hot. Hopefully we pull our 7th land. Oh, it'll be our 6th land. We need 2 lands. Oh no. Big O-nos. 3 copies of Nest of Scarabs is pretty sick, though. You know, I will take action, just so we can make 3 insects. 3 insects and a snake. Not so bad, right? You know, we're susceptible to a field wipe regardless. 1 more land. We could always put the -1 on one of our tokens, I believe. Oh, cycling. Nice, that will kill us, because there's no Death Touch here. There is. So we will instant speed Death Touch the shark out of existence. Snake has Death Touch. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So we're gonna trade 1 insect for 3 insects and a snake. Not too shabby, right? Forcing him into another field wipe, or it's lethal. Some original janked up insect decks for you guys today. Just having fun with it. You know, inspired by your boy Weevil. Oh gosh. We gotta get that Hornet Queen in play. What was the, I forget what that card was. Something. It looked similar. It is the land, which is pretty groovy, I'm not gonna lie. 4 more tokens, all with flying. They don't all have haste though. And we do have the 2 Death Touch Snake plus the 5, which is 7. Right, that's a lot of damage. You know, we don't get to put the token to multiply our field, but we do have lethal if there's no wipes. If there is, that's kind of how control matchups go. You know, we're out of cards in hand. We have 0 card advantage. Our opponent has quite a bit. Cycling just for a field wipe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cycling again, down to 4. Hopefully they didn't get it. Oh, good game. That's insect power, baby. Which is a saving grace for us. With 24 lands, you'd be surprised how few we draw. Hopefully there's a creature, right? And we can just pick it off with Ram Through. Let's play our spider. I think Chevill can attack. Growth Spiral's fine. More land, not really great. Salt Eye Adventures. mean, I don't know, it's an adventure deck, but we're ready to go on an adventure. We've just watched the Zendikar Rising pre-release event that they hosted. They showed off, you know, like some cool things. They went on like a little adventures, Indiana Jones themed. We had the party mechanic revealed, which is new and really cool. Might take the nest. Might also take Ram through. Beast, he's hedging on us pulling a land, which we will. Yeah, okay. Takes the beast. Passage, which can be placed in. Oh, stop it. Just straight stop it. That'll give Chevill, you know, an additional damage plus gain us some life. I don't think that there's going to be any swing on the back end, right? So let's just go in for 3. Gaining 1 life. It's not much damage. It's like pretty excusable, right? And I think that's why it's not being dealt with. We're suspect to a field wipe. They see our hand. If we do get wiped, we have nothing. Even, odd, odd. Another Gross Spiral. Without any creatures for our Death Touch and -1 tokens to interact with, it's kind of like a weird stalemate we get put into. Where we just are slowly dealing tiny bits of damage. 3 land available for them here. Sorry, 4, actually. Hydra Crisis for 1. That's fine, right? That just kind of shuts us down. There's a good game. They must not get to draw. And we don't really get to execute, but, you know, win's a win. Our opponent goes first. That's fine, right? We'll just Thoughtseize whatever's going on. Wow, Leyline of Abundance into a Llanowar else? Are you serious? We're going to take that Leyline with our Pulse before they can utilize it. And we take the Clan Caller. This is Elf Tribal. Wow, they pull a second. Crazy. We're gonna take the Llanowar Elves, I guess. Doesn't feel good. Like, we're still in a very bad spot. Oh, man. One, two, three, 4, 5. If they pull a land, we're screwed. We have to basically hedge on them not pulling a land. We need the Death Touch out for Ram through. They won't attack here, though. Really? Who cares about the abundance with no creatures? Right? Down to 6. Can we stabilize? Vraska in play.
Go ahead. Beg, keep your friends close. Kill your
Let's start
enemies.
pushing up. Gaining life, right? Doing chip damage. Gets a counter on it.
If you see an assassin coming for
Woo!
you,
That was
that
close.
assassin.
Elfland almost got us. Nice. 1 damage short. Right, down to 1. Oh no. I kind of want to get beat up.
Fighting here is more fun than in the Undercity.
Absolutely brutal. I say we still take it.
Pirates and I get along because we're both
End our turn.
pirates.
Oh my lord. We are so lucky here. 2 Blightfangs. Coming back from the grave, baby. Let's throw the life gain in there as well. 4 life. Oh yeah. It's a good day when you don't get elf balled.
Oppressors deserve whatever I feel.
We still have our draw. Ooh. Kind of whiffs, right? Kind of whiffs. That was close though. Collected Company would have been the card to do it. I can't rely on the land. We have to mulligan for 3. Here it is. Let's toss Vraska. Oof. Goodbye, Visor. Huh? Lots of removal, though, is going to be the problem. Keeping the Swamp last, because he's not seen that. Lich. A little bit of Death Touch on his own behalf. We need to avoid removal. Oh, stop it. We can't remove that in 1 turn unless we pull our Pulse. No. Right, 1 mana short from our ramp through, and we've been curving out perfectly, so the Hostage Shaker just gets underneath us. Try. Right? There's no coming back from this. They have something for 2. A Thought Erasure. They want to look at our lands. This is so annoying. We're down to 2 cards, one of which is a removal that needs a creature. Maybe we top deck a Questing Beast, you feel? He's really into that creature sack with the Phyrexian Tower there. Oof. Discard both of these. Oh, they discard 2 cards, sorry. More land, that's, you know, a good draw. Oh gosh. Meyer trying in play. More mills. Hit for 6, lethal next turn. We pull a land, it's over. Good game. Our opponent goes first. Our land is really nice. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Paying life against a red deck, probably not smart. We'll take the Snoop though. This will block the 1/1s. Questing Beast is pretty friendly as well. A little life gain would be cool. Even the spider here would actually probably be ideal. He would just double block with tokens for the removal. Okay, as long as there's no Muxus. The Matreon will pull Muxus. Gross. Grody, bro. Yeah. Nice. They could do it right now if they wanted. No attacks. We're super dead. But, you know, to have the Vizier with the Spider on play is pretty fun. But it's not as fun as playing Muxus, that's for sure. As long as there's no haste accumulated here, right? There's haste and +1/+1. Gross. So this touches Muxus, right? Gets that off the field. We want to touch the Snoop here. And we're still gonna hit for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 damage. Oof. It's not good. We get a spider. We get our snake or whatever. They're a beast, but they've still gone so wide. I mean, we could attack. Put something on a creature, make a snake, and that is its own chump blocker. Right? We should be killing the chieftain, actually, probably. Gain a little life. Do a little chip damage. Make a little snake. You're gonna get thrashed here again, though. Right? Awesome. Just more goblins, man. We've got some death touch going on. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers, though. Oh, they're going big. They want that Muxus, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's plenty of rooms for attacks. This is a good game. Good game. They just need to attack. Sure. I mean, pushing everybody up. Yes, that's cool, but sacrificing 6. But I guess they gain more than 6, right? So. Ooh, that's so sad. That's so sad. That's so sad. block. That's still just way more than enough damage. Can't beat him. Our opponent goes first. Our land looks bad. Mulliganing it away, keeping 6, tossing a nest. Force comes out first. More mono red. That's awesome. I guess I need to just start designing all of the best of 1 decks to fight mono red, right? That seems to be big go-to. Shocks? Just emptying that hand, baby. 3rd land. Shocks. It's for 2. Wow. 3 cards left in hand, though, is the thing. Let's get that spider in play. That's going to stop the attacks. Or should stop the attacks. Blessing Bee should help stop the attacks as well. They're 2 shocks deep, so they're going to have to use either their last 2 shocks or a full cost spell. And again, we're blocking this. We don't mind. I'm sure that there's a 3rd shock or a lightning bolt or something. That's fine. We still put the counter on them, and the creature dies. And now we're in with the big kahunas. El Bisto. El Bistador. Hey, maybe that's a good name for it. A little bit of life gain, that's going to help, and I think this match is over. I mean, 2 shocks, a lightning strike, and a guild runner, or lava runners. Not quite enough, I don't think. Especially when we start gaining life here. They're down to 11, we're at 14. Good game. Alright, so we showed you guys what the year looks like in Magic, right? We've got some really cool stuff coming up for us. Kaladime, which is Vikings, Strixhaven, School of Mages, so I'm thinking lots of spellcasters and wizards. The Forgotten Realms, Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons, right? And then werewolves and vampires. So it is going to be a lot of fun. And now we talked about this a little bit. What we didn't talk about is the new mechanics within Zendikar Rising. We have a party mechanic for, I don't even know what it was. It was like clerics, rogues, warriors, stuff like this. So you're gonna have different creature types, and when you build your creature types up, you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, and 4 people or creatures in your party, and then there will be other spells and permanents that do scalable things based on the amount of individuals in your party, right? So if you've got, they showed a card, it was like you gain 2 life for each person in your party. And then you could potentially have up to 5 people, I think 4 or 5 people in your party. So that's, potentially 10 life gained, which is really cool. So you can see how these spells and permanents will scale in value based on the size of your party, which is pretty cool. It reminds me a little bit of the Dungeons and Dragons theme, if I'm being honest. In RPGs, MMOs, you do have your party. You've got a healer, you got your DPS, you got your tank, right? So that's what it reminds me of, and I'm really excited for that, having these huge creatures like bosses, raid bosses, and then your party that forms to try to take them down. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We've seen cool things, some Jace shoes. I think I'm going to buy a set, and we're going to do a giveaway on the channel. Just random jazz like that. Anywho, I'm off for the day. I got to go film a podcast with MTG Jeff and Dr. Spilkin. Go check them out. Podcast every Friday, FNM Podcast. You can find that on the Doctor's channel. And go tell them that I said hello and good game. All right, you guys. As far as deck upgrades, it's fine. It's a theme deck. You could make it better, I'm sure, but this is good enough. Maybe some more removal, right? you know, some 2-drop removal could be a lot of fun, potentially. You know, that doesn't require a creature to use. So, play with the deck, edit it to your heart's desire. Wink, wink. For 2-drop removal, heart's desire. And, you know, let me know how you make out in the comments below. I'd be really interested to see if you find a version of this deck that you're like, this is it. I took the extra time from your base build and I dialed it in. Check this list out. You know, I'd appreciate that. You know, what I would also appreciate if you visited the channel and you gave us a like, a comment, a subscribe, share to a friend, and all of, you know, that great jazz, right? You know, the channel's been doing good, but it can do better. So share it to a friend. And, you know, we've got lots of giveaways. We just gave away 120,000 gems. We've got 350,000 more to give away. We're buying those shoes to give away. We've got free entry tournaments with cash prizes that are like beginner friendly, artisan, and brawl. So get your toes in on that. Come say hello. We'd love to have you. Do take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.